Hey guys, we have another 13 Days of Halloween project. I'm starting out with some Distress Oxide and Spiced Marmalade and some Distress Ink in Hickory Smoke, and I'm just gonna smoosh that down on my craft sheet, add a little bit of water, and then run my ATC through that. And my ATC is 2.5 inches by 3.5 inches ATC size, and I'm also going to add some Distress Ink and Wild Honey. And also, oftentimes when I use Distress Oxide with Distress Ink, it's because I don't have like all of the colors in Distress Oxide. So I just pick the colors I want, and then if I have them in oxide, then I do. If I don't, I mix them. So it's not a technique thing. It's a it's a cheap thing. I don't want to buy more ink. So yeah. So I'm also going to squirt a little water out on my craft sheet to make some little droplets there. And I'm taking this stamp die embossing set by Tim Holtz and Sizzix called Jack-O-Lantern. I got it at Michael's. And I'm going to run that ATC through the embossing folder. And I'm going to take a little bit of that Hickory Smoke Distress Ink and run it around the edges. And then I'm also going to add a little bit more of that Spiced Marmalade, just kind of intensify that orange a little bit. And then I'm also going to take some black soot because the gray wasn't dark enough, or it wasn't accentuating the raised areas of the embossing folder enough for me. So I needed a darker color. So I'm just going to run that around the edges with my little Distress blending tool, and also bring it a little bit into the center. And then I'm going to use that same black soot to make black splatters on my card. And this is a stamp set by Recollections. I got it at Michael's, and that's the number there if you're interested, 555904. So I'm using my stamping platform. It would have been a lot quicker to just stamp it out on using an acrylic block, but I had just gotten my stamp platform, so I was so excited to use it for everything. So, and I'm actually glad that I pulled out the stamp platform, because as I was stamping it, I realized that the stamp wasn't made very well, and the little stars around his hat weren't stamping properly. And when I looked at the stamp, like you can see on the plastic or the polymer or whatever it is, that it's not even. Like the stars are it's uneven, so it's not going to stamp properly. And then one of the other stamps in the set was like that as well. There's a cat that was like that. So I tried to take it back, but they didn't have any more of that same stamp set, and I liked it so much, so I just kept it, and I figured I'd make it work. So I'm going to color with some Zig Clean Color Real Brush Markers, and the numbers that I used are I wrote down there in the top. And I'm just blending the colors together using the markers, not using water, because you get a more intense color that way. And that's really what I wanted for this jack-o'-lantern. So I have to tell you guys, I often get emails from companies that want to send me products or want me to review stuff, and a lot of times it's not anything craft or art related, like at all. And I just got an email like right before I started this voiceover from this company called EduBirdie. So I went to look into them to see who they were, because all their email said was, will you do us a shout out? And if you do want to give us a shout out, you have to let us know how many views you have on your YouTube channel. Like, nice email. So I went to look into them, and apparently they are a homework cheating site where you can pay someone to write essays for you. And they had a whole bunch of like sponsored videos on YouTube that got taken down because of it. And I gotta tell you, that kind of thing really ticks me off. I mean, my mother's a school teacher. I fancy myself a career learner. I only, up until recently, was an adult college student. My sister's right now getting her master's, or her master's. So, we're really into education, and like, do your own work. Stop paying people to do your work. Like, what are you doing? It's so messed up. And why are they contacting me? Like, I'm the worst person. Crafting has nothing to do with that, and I hate stuff like that. So I just had to tell you guys, because it just happened and it really ticked me off, and I have no one else to tell because I'm home alone. So I thought I'd tell you guys. So anyway, back to my card. I'm gonna fussy cut my little guy out there. I'm gonna edge him with some black soot so you can't see the white edge of the paper. And then I'm gonna take this sentiment stamp by Viva Las Vegas Stamps, and it's a Halloween sentiment. But I'm just gonna take the end part that says "'Tis near Halloween," and I'm going to cut that apart, and then I'm going to add some color to that using some Copic markers. And honestly, I don't know why I use Copic markers, because I should have used the same Zig markers that I used to color my little guy in. But I don't know. I used yellow, and then I also added a little bit of a cool gray because my background got very chalky and gray because I used a gray. Hickory smoke is gray, obviously. And also his little hat there has a little gray on it. So I wanted to tie it all together and make that whiteness of the paper not as stark. And then I'm just going to stick everything down with some clear tacky glue. And that's as simple as it is for this. This was actually the very first project that I made for 13 Days of Halloween, but I had made other projects after this that I was more excited about. So I don't have pictures for this one because I know I took pictures, but I can't find them, and I can't find the card to take new pictures. So that's what it is. So thank you for watching, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye, guys.